Okay, so we're at August 12th, 2025, 9:32 a.m. Eastern side. We flipped the poll, so it might be the Western. D'Amica, your Life Force generator, CEO of Life Force Gen Z. All right, we're going to tap into a video, okay, and it's called Social Security Numbers. Let me get to it. Okay, okay.
Not just the way the internet hacks are telling you.
Wait,
Now, in this video, I'm going
sorry.
to break down the real reason most people say your SSN is tied to a secret bank account. What's true about that? What's complete?
Okay, so it's called SSN and secret bank account myths, right? And he says, here's the truth. So this is presented by Nicholas Burns. Okay, we're going to go ahead and tap into um, Nicholas's podcast. Okay, and then while we're tapping into that, I'm going to be pulling some tarot cards. Okay, so this is about 25 minutes and 32 seconds or so. So we're going to go ahead and start listening and pulling. There will be ads. Okay, I'm not paying to skip no doggone ads. There will be ads. I will skip them. But let's get into the podcast. Let's go. Shout out to Nicholas. Thank you for the information.
Completely misunderstood in how the system actually uses your number as a credit routing tool. I've studied trust law, Federal Reserve System, and the commercial remedy, and I'm going to connect the dots so you don't fall for the myths and understand the deeper game. Now, before we dive into this video, if you're brand new, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. All right? Turn on those post notifications so that you get an update every single time I post a video. Number two, this is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. Make sure to do your due diligence. I'm not here to mislead you guys or give you guys any type of misinformation. This is based off of my findings, my research, and I implore you guys to do your due diligence, okay? Now, my goal today is really to break down the aspect of the SSN being a routing number and what the myths are behind it and what are the truths, okay? I'm also going to talk about how the system truly routes your credit. So make sure you stay all the way to the end so that you know exactly what to do with this knowledge. All right. So let's dive straight in. One of the biggest things that I want to point out when it comes to the SSN being a bank routing number, I think that a lot of people will claim that you can pay off debt using your SSN plus the Federal Reserve routing number that is on the back of your SSN. If we pull up an SSN card, SSN card, hopefully this is not a card that, okay, oh my God, this ain't a back, okay? If I go ahead and share my screen, there's claims that this SSN is tied to an account and the back is a routing number, okay? And essentially people use these numbers in order to pay off debt, utility bills, so on and so forth. And they also claim that there is a secret treasury direct account tied to your SSN, which could be true, okay? I'm not here to completely say that those things are incorrect or that there aren't some truths to it, but the aspect of being able to pay your debts off using the SSN number or the routing number, it's partially true, because the truth is that these attempts seem to work briefly, but typically often result in people getting reversals, or also at the same time they may get like flags dealing with fraud or even charges from what I've seen. I remember back in the day on TikTok, this is probably like it was probably like 5 years ago. It's 2025, it's 2020 when I seen this, and people were talking about this, right? It was a young lady. She literally was paying her bills using the SSN, the number on the back of the SSN, and I'm sure she was able to do it. I think that she got in trouble. I can't pinpoint exactly what happened to her, but there's some truth. There is an aspect of you being able to do it, but it's so tightly controlled that it's not something that's going to work consistently, okay? So if you're thinking of the ideal of, okay, bet, as long as I understand this process, or if I can't do this, then I can't somehow discharge debt. That's not true. You can discharge debt, but also at the same time, when it comes to the SSN and the routing number, there is a level of truth to it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that you could be able to do to pay your bill. And if you can't do it, then you're gonna raise hell.
How to use Auto Quote Explorer. First, start a quote. Then, compare rates from us and our competitors. And lastly,
Okay, here are the real dangers of the misuse of this. Okay, the misuse of the SSN as account numbers can violate 18 USC 1028, which is essentially talking about, chapter 18 really talks a lot about like fraud, conspiracy, things of that nature. So 18 USC 1028, fraud and related activity in connection with identification documents, authentication.
Pause. I need to write that down. Y'all should know how I go now. Once you find something that you're interested in, right? What did he say? USC. Let's see. Okay, he said chapter 18 US Code 1028 is for fraud and related activity in connection with identification documents, authentication features, and information. Okay, so let's write that down. Because we want to be able to present all this stuff when we talk to these folks, right? Give me a sec. I'm here, y'all. Give me a sec. Okay, so I'm gonna buy me some more markers. We're at 6 minutes and 58 seconds. All right. So he said, U.S. Code 1028, Chapter 18. Now, let's listen in on what else he says at 723.
In the identification documents, authentication features, and information. Okay? So, you have to be very strategic when doing any of these processes, because if they can prove or shift the narrative to making it seem like you did fraud and you cannot combat it, then yes, at the end of the day, you have did something fraudulently. Okay? And then you can go to 18 USC 514. 18 USC 514 talks about fictitious obligations, which essentially talks about utilizing any aspect.
Oh, he moving it too fast. I don't like when they do that either. Okay? You're going to present something, present it. Okay? I don't like that when they move too fast. It's like they be hiding something or something. Hold on. So he said,
the misuse of it, okay? And this is not something that you should take lightly, all right? I know that some of you guys may say, okay, well, you could do this, and maybe even rack your brain about being able to do this. It really talks about
okay,
utilizing
so U.S. Code, I guess this is still Chapter 18, U.S. Code 514. All I see is a 1-8 U.S. Code, right? So I'm 1-8 U.S. Code, okay, and then we got 514 fictitious obligations. Whoever with the intent to defraud draws, prints, processes, produces, publishes, or otherwise makes or attempts or causes the same within the United States. All right, let's see what he's talking about with that.
Any aspect of any type of instrument to defraud something, okay? Moreover, the misuse of it, okay? And this is not something that you should take lightly, all right? I know that some of you guys may say, okay, well, you could do this, and maybe even rack your brain about being able to do this. And ultimately, for those people that do that, they waste time because they're looking for a way of being able to wipe away their responsibilities or obligations without having to do something like the administrative process. They just want to type in some numbers and boom, it just pays off debt. But that's not like how debt truly operates, okay? Even if there was an account, it wouldn't really matter because, like, if it's an account, then I'm sure that has similar type of accounting, and they're going to use numbers to pay off the debt anyways. So you really got to shrug your shoulders on that. So it's not that the SSN has no power. It's just that people are using the wrong process and expecting the wrong results. Okay, so your SSN does give you power, but not in the sense of you being able to use that account to be able to pay off your debts. It's more of understanding that it is connected to an account that you are the beneficiary of, but as the beneficiary, there are elements that the account or rights that the account allows you to do. For example, being able to acquire credit, right? Being able to apply for credit and things of that nature. Okay. Now here's the truth when it comes to the SSN as a credit routing.
You look like this at 55?
Thanks, I appreciate it, and it's all natural too.
How do you look better than me, 15 years?
Identifier, okay? So your SSN is tied to your public trust, which is connected to your straw man, your all caps name, okay? That is true, okay? And it's used to track all commercial activity, debts, and income. It's not used in a sense of...
No. Okay, so let's get here. I want to rewind what he just said.
To pay, but it's really used to really... It's true, okay? And it's used to track... SSN is tied to your public trust, which is connected to your straw man, your all caps name, okay?
Your SSN is tied to your public trust, right? That's what he said. Your all caps name. All right, so your SSN tied to public trust account. All caps name. Y'all getting an exclusive as to how I create my tarot cards. Okay, and then you let the stories play out. All right, so social security number tied to public trust account. All caps name, okay?
That is true, okay? And it's used to track all commercial activity, debts.
Used to God damn it. What did he just say? It's used to
an income. It's not a credit routing identifier, okay? So your SSN is tied to your public trust, which is connected to your straw man, your all caps name, okay? That is true, okay? And it's used to track all commercial activity, debts, and income. It's not used in a sense of, to pay, but it's really used to really identify and track certain things. But also at the same time, when you do apply for things, and this is my belief, I can't sit here and say that this is true, that there is a number that accumulates in the account, but it's accounting at the end of the day. It's not really like real money in a sense. It's not even lawful money. It's not gold, silver, metals. It's none of that, okay? But let's just say if you think of the $37 trillion in debt, if I pull up the U.S. debt clock, what if it was like this, right? And my theory is this, that when you do apply for things, right, and this number is much larger than what could be in your SSN account.
So,
but what if every time you...
He's showing me a U.S. debt clock, okay? I'm going to get that down too. He's showing me a U.S. debt clock, usdebt.org, U.S. debt clock. Okay, and it's saying that the United States national debt is this fucking trillions or billions? This is trillion. Okay, so it's saying that the U.S. is in debt 37,164,559,617,946 That's what they stole. That's what they stole. That's an inheritance. That's why they in debt. I truly believe that. That's why they in debt. That's what they fucking owe us. They in debt because that's what they owe us. They in debt because that's what they owe us. They in debt because that's what they owe us. Owe us. Owe us. Okay, so U.S. national debt. He making me want to go here while I'm on here. We have 15 minutes and 38 seconds. We gonna learn. We're the camera. We gonna learn. We gonna learn. U.S. national debt. Outstanding. So let's look up what the U.S. national debt actually means. U.S. national debt. Metaphysical meaning. Okay? Let's see what that is. Spiritual meaning of debt. The spiritual meaning of debt reveal transformative insights. Discover how you're we ain't reading that. Hold on, y'all. Debts are produced by thoughts of lack, impatient desire, and covetousness. I don't know how to say that word. A thought of debt will produce debt. As long as we believe in debt, we shall go into debt and accumulate the burdens furthermore. God damn. So they are creating debt in our head, right? Making us feel as though we're in debt. These job jokers in debt, right? Not us, right? They stole from us, right? They stole the gold inheritance from us, right? Cool. They are in debt. So they are trying to make us feel like we have debt. They are putting us in all these situations, creating bills. That's why it's called pass the bill law. But they are creating all these fucking bills that don't even belong to us to create debt. Because as long as they have credit, as long as they have debt, as long as you need a motherfucker, they get paid. But they ain't even getting paid real money. That's why they had to buy all these fucking properties and assets that's get ready to belong to us. You dig? They did all the hard work for us. Ya dig? All right, let's see. Okay. Being in debt is more than just a challenging financial situation. It's laden with profound spiritual significance and esoteric wisdom. In this guide, this is from spiritualmojo.com, we'll delve deeply into the spiritual world of debt, uncovering the myriad spiritual meanings. Let's tap into it. Let's see what Spiritual Mojo got to say. Dr. Elena M. Rivera wrote this. You're not alone, doctor said. You know about the doctors. In this guide, all right, so in this guide, we'll delve deeply into the spiritual world of debt, uncovering the myriad spiritual meanings this difficult circumstance can hold. Whether you're currently in debt, concerned about it, or simply intrigued by its spiritual significance, you're about to discover why this situation can offer profound insights into our souls. Being in debt holds a significant spiritual meaning of financial imbalance. The imbalance can represent a deviation from the path of prosperity, stability, and abundance, leading one to a state of financial strain and worry. The spiritual perspective urges individuals to strive for balance, not only in their financial life, but in every aspect of their existence. An unbalanced financial state may indicate an inner misalignment with our true spiritual path, implying the need for introspection, understanding, and realignment. The spiritual path encourages personal growth and development, which includes the cultivation of wise financial habits and the understanding of monetary energy flow. Being in debt, therefore, can serve as a wake-up call, urging one to reassess their relationship with money, align their spending with their values, and restore balance in their lives. The spiritual journey through debt can be a challenging one, but it can also lead to valuable lessons of discipline, accountability, and gratitude. Ultimately, the experience of financial imbalance seeks to steer us towards a path of fiscal wisdom and spiritual growth. Material attachment. Being in debt carries the spiritual significance of material attachment, reminding us of the spiritual implications of our financial actions and decisions. You stuck in a demiurge, okay? Material attachment, okay? You're stuck to the illusion of materialism. And at this point where we're at in the year 2025, if you are still currently thinking that way, moving that way, living that way, you will forever be that way in your own little ditzy ass world. Okay. Excessive debt often results from overindulgence in materialistic desires, reinforcing the attachment to earthly possessions. It serves as a stark reminder of the Buddhist concept of dukkha, or suffering that arises from craving and attachment. Law of detachment. Practice it. Moreover, being in debt can also reflect an imbalance in the principle of giving and receiving, a key element in many spiritual traditions. This imbalance could be a sign of lack of gratitude or abundance mindset, leading to a cycle of accumulating more debt, or witchcraft, right? Mind manipulation, energy manipulation. She ain't want to say that part though. That's what cracked me up about these doctors. They don't never want to mention these deep underground military bunkers that's actually manipulating the energy. Two, on top of your own mindset, right? They got these witches and warlocks out here that's becoming priests, pastors, shamans, imams. I mean, they got them all over the damn place, right? 22 minutes and 18 seconds. And they lying. They don't want to tell you the manipulation of it, how they, the scientific part, are actually going against universal laws and manipulating the energy. Okay? Come on, doctor. What else you got to say? Thus, being in debt is called to examine our relationship with material wealth and strive for a balance between the spiritual and material aspects of life, emphasizing the need for detachment from material possessions and fostering a sense of contentment and gratitude. It is an invitation to realize the true wealth lies not in accumulation but in liberation from attachment, teaching us to value inner peace over material gain. Burden and stress. Being in debt carries a deep spiritual significance related to the burdens and stress one's experiences in life. Some of our burdens and stresses have been put here purposely. This condition metaphorically represents the weight of obligations and commitments that one has yet to fulfill. It symbolizes the heavy burdens that one must carry, causing a sense of unease and discomfort. Moreover, being in debt can also be seen as a reflection of one's internal chaos and turmoil. It represents the stress and anxiety that comes from not being able to meet expectations or keep promises, which can hinder spiritual growth and personal development. Don't make no promises. I learned that the hard way. I ain't promising shit. Not even to myself. If I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. And that's where it's at. In a spiritual sense, being in debt encourages individuals to seek balance, prioritize their needs, and strive for freedom from their burdens. It serves as a stark reminder of the necessity to live within means and to make mindful decisions. Thus promoting the cultivation of virtues such as responsibility, integrity, and self-discipline. Just like the physical debt needs to be cleared for financial health, the spiritual interpretation of this condition teaches us the importance of releasing emotional debts and healing past wounds for true inner peace and well-being. Congratulations to you. You've helped me get through my reading portion of the day. Karmic lessons. Being in debt carries a heavy spiritual significance, serving as a powerful lesson in the cyclic nature of karma. It symbolizes the law of cause and effect, where actions have repercussions that must be faced and resolved. The cycle of borrowing and owing prompts individuals to reflect on their past decisions, encouraging personal growth and a deeper understanding of their choices. This karmic lesson urges individuals to take responsibility for their actions and strive for balance and harmony in their financial life and personal. See, it starts with your personal. They keep making about finance. You are the finance. You are the wealth. You are the money. You. Right? You are the power that they have tried to manipulate for centuries. Fuck years. We're gonna talk about centuries, okay? And they just can't. And they never will. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. 25 minutes and 57 seconds. I'm not going to finish the YouTube if you want to check him out. He is, like I said, his name is, where you at? Young King. Where you at, Young King? His name is, what's his name? Nicholas Burns, okay? Nicholas Burns. And it's titled SSN and Secret Bank Account Myths. Here's the truth. He did that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that here, though. I'm gonna leave that here. We was at 7 minutes and 54 seconds on that video. Okay, so it was so much more to go in that video. Don't forget U.S. debt clock, all right? Don't forget the Social Security numbers. They are tied to public trust accounts. All cap name, that middle straw man. All right, don't forget U.S. Code 1028, guess chapter 18 U.S. Code 514. I rebuke all spells, rituals, and castings that are not of the highest frequencies of source love consciousness that may have been projected my way on all timelines, planes, and dimensions, consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously, knowingly and unknowingly, anything and everything that I am connected to, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and ethereally, all are protected. All is transmuted into love and then is sent back to its source. I am sovereign and free. Any agreements and contracts that I may have agreed to while being on lower paradigms of existence of consciousness, they are all cut and ended on all timelines, planes, and dimensions, consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously. Knowingly and unknowingly, I am sovereign. I am sovereign. I am sovereign. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. I rebuke all spells, rituals, and castings that are not of the highest frequencies of source love consciousness that may have been projected my way on all timelines, planes, and dimensions, consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously, knowingly and unknowingly. Anything and everything that I am connected to, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and ethereally, all are protected. All is transmuted into love, and then is sent back to its source. I am sovereign and free. Any agreements and contracts that I may have agreed to while being on lower paradigms of existence of consciousness, they are all cut and ended on all timelines, planes, and dimensions, consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously. Knowingly and unknowingly, I am sovereign. I am sovereign. I am sovereign. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So it is, loves.